Hi, I'm Bobby Peer with TAPinto, and I'm here with Sonia Sequeira from FACT, Families and Communities Together. Welcome, Sonia.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but you are the Director of Operations, and that's a title that encompasses a lot. So we're talking about the process of what a family that is in crisis or in need needs to do to get in touch with you. And then I'd love to know what they can expect when they go through the process. Can we start with that?
Sure. So any family that has a child who is having any kind of emotional or behavioral issues, or a child who has any kind of intellectual and developmental disabilities or substance abuse issues can contact Perform Care. Perform Care is our contracted system administrator, and this is for the entire state of New Jersey.
Okay.
The number to call would be 1-877-652-7624. And that number, when you call that number, you have representatives who will process the referral, talk to the family, and find out what exactly the issues are. And then based on something called a biopsychosocial assessment that is completed, or based on the referral that comes in, Perform Care actually determines, if the family is eligible for care management organization, which is for Union County, it is us, Families and Community Together. And if the child is eligible, then they would be referred to us for services. So that is the best way to get services through CMO, is to contact Perform Care.
So you'll have the information from the original assessment, and then do you then meet with the family, and then you create your team based on the professionals that they need?
Right. So once a family is opened to us for services, I'm the one who actually processes all the referrals, and I will assign that family to a care manager at FACT. That care manager will contact that family that same day that we get the referral. And once that care manager contacts, she or he will set up a meeting. They will go out into the community if the family wishes for the care manager to come to the home. If they have any kind of a reason why they do not want a person to come to the home, maybe there is some kind of medical reasons, then we would actually conduct telehealth sessions. We can actually have sessions via Zoom or Microsoft Teams, and then the care manager will try to get a team together, and we call that team a child family team.
Okay.
Or a CFT. That team will consist of the child, the parents. Again, I do want to mention, if it is a young adult, if the child is between the ages of, a young adult is between the ages of 18 and 21, then they can contact Perform Care directly, and then that person can decide whether they want their parents or anyone else involved in that child family team. But generally, you have a team that comes together, and then we meet and try to figure out what services or what the needs of the family are. So what I would say is just want to talk a little bit about the 4 buckets of care management, so people know what that is. Care management, there are 4 buckets. The first one is when we get together, we do an assessment of the family, and an assessment would involve speaking to different people or different entities that are involved with that child. So it would be the school. It would be if the child is involved with the juvenile justice system, we would contact a probation officer if the youth has someone involved through that system, or child welfare, DCP&P, and we would then do a 365 or 360 degree view of the child. That's what we want.
Right.
We want to get a full view of what this child and family are dealing with. Once we do an assessment, and again, we also use something called a strength and needs tool, a strength and needs assessment, to see what the strengths of the family are, what the needs of the family are. We then do what is known as a planning session, where we put an individualized plan together for the family. It's called an ISP. And once we put that plan together, we then see what the needs are and how can we implement services to address those needs. We then go through the 3rd bucket, which is linkage, and we link the family to different types of services. depending on what the needs are. And finally, we monitor the family. We want to make sure that the services that actually implemented are working, and the child and the family do show improvement. If there's no improvement, we come back to the table and see what else we can do to help this family.
And then there's a follow-up even after they've gone through all of the services and they don't need FACT anymore, but there is a follow-up as well, right?
Absolutely. Once a family is stabilized and they are doing well, then the child family team decides when they want to, what is known as transition, and we might then decide to leave or transition the family. And if the family wants to continue with services, we will again link them to other entities, maybe outpatient services, whatever that might be. So we definitely want to make sure that we have stabilized the family and the family is doing well at the time of transition.
Great, and that has to be the ultimate goal.
Yes.
So from there, let's talk a little bit about the type of services that you do provide, because you do have a lot of different crisis. You could have someone in crisis. You could have someone maybe even with food needs or substance abuse or mental illness. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So there are a variety of services that we link families to. Our most intensive services that we do is known as in-home services. So we do have contracts with different agencies that have licensed mental health or behavioral providers, and they will actually go into the home to provide individualized services for that child. So it would be like individual therapy, family therapy, and really the goal of intensive in-community services, which we call IIC, is to help a child with maybe they're having any kind of behavioral challenges, mental health challenges. Maybe it is coping skills that they need to improve on, or there might be issues with communication skills, relationship building. I'm just giving examples of different areas that they will target and work with the family and the child on. So that is IIC. We also have what are known as behavioral assistants. These are, again, individuals who will, again, go into the home and they actually follow a plan that is put together by the IIC. So when you have a licensed professional who will put a plan together, and the behavioral assistant will go into the home, and it can help the child actually improve on those target areas, whatever that might be. Like, as I mentioned earlier, it could be any kind of mental health challenges. Maybe they're having problems with peer relationships, or any of those areas they will work with the child on. We also have services for our developmentally disabled children, the DD population. We have what is known as ABA services. We also have, that's applied behavioral analysis, where they will help the child improve in different areas. We have what is known as ISS services, where you have a child who needs to improve on their activities of daily living, like brushing teeth, putting on clothes, getting on the bus. We have, technicians who will actually do that, who will go into the home and help the child with those kind of needs. We have what is known as clinical services, where you actually have IIC who has a lot of experience working with the DD population, and will help them in any areas where they might have some kind of dual diagnosis, where they might have a developmental disability, but also some kind of behavioral challenges like anger outbursts or anxiety, depression, and will help address those needs.
Okay. So there are agencies involved when
Yes.
that happens.
Right.
This was such great information. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Thank you.